week 2 provided us with very exciting games, highlighted by the Super Bowl rematch, which the Eagles won back in March. I'm not saying I'm against it. I'm just simply saying they won that game back in March when the league decided to not ban the tush push.
You sound like Adam Schefter, who said the exact same thing, I believe, on Get Up Monday Morning.
Yes. But like that's one of the big talking points coming out of this is, oh, the Eagles are getting away with false starts. And I'm just like, well, you could have voted to get rid of the tush push, but you didn't.
Okay. So before we get into the actual game itself, I, as the Eagles fan on this show, am going to acknowledge this is the game that's going to ban the brotherly shove. And to be honest with you, I'm kind of surprised it's not banned by the time we're on the air today. I thought for sure on Monday morning there was going to be an announcement from the NFL that said, we have magically decided the tush push is banned. I truly believe that because of how much Dean Blandino and Tom Brady were completely bashing the play during Sunday's afternoon. Now, that was the first time in the 3-4 year history of this play that I blatantly saw, yes, my team did jump. Yes, my team did line up offside, which I actually think that's the bigger issue rather than the false start, is you got to at least tell them, hey, you're lining up offsides, call offsides. The referees absolutely missed it, yes. But I don't think it impacted the game the way people said it was, because the play that everybody's talking about was the fourth down play where we got the touchdown where there was clearly a false start. The play before that, the play Nick Sirianni challenged when the ball to me was clearly over the plane, that should have been a touchdown Philadelphia. There was not a false start or offsides on that play, and Kansas City thought they stopped it, though again, technically to me, they didn't. So I think people are making way too big of a deal out of this because of the fact they just don't like it because the Eagles do it better than everybody else. But I do think this is going to be the game that gets the play banned.
I would agree with you, although during that Week 10 Packers Monday night game in Green Bay, if I'm the Eagles, I run it like 20 times.
Oh, by the way, I throw this theory out there to you. Because, again, I have never seen my team purposely line up offsides and get away with it. I have not seen a false start. So all these, the Eagles are always getting away with it. No, that's not true. We got away with it on Sunday. We don't always get away with it because they have caught offsides in the offense before. It's just most of those games have been in the 1 o'clock window. I think now we're blatantly going to try to cheat. I'm going to be honest with you, because I would purposely try to get a jump. I would purposely try to line up a yard offsides and see if they call it, because now it's out there. Make yourself public enemy number one. Make the NFL ban it. Get every ounce of juice you can out of it, because you know this is the last year you're going to use it.
Yes, but talking about the game itself, everybody talked about like how the Eagles defense completely shut down Kansas City's offense last year in Super Bowl 59. And there was talks of, well, with Xavier Worthy out and some of their other and Rashid Rice being suspended, like it's going to be much like that again. And I'm thinking, this is still Patrick Mahomes. Like you're not going to dismiss him like that. As much as I dislike him.
So this was the kind of game. Remember, I said last week I predicted the same score that I thought the Super Bowl was going to be, which was 24-20. This was the kind of game I thought the Super Bowl was going to be, which is low scoring, defensive game, not a lot of big plays from either side. And I thought the Eagles' defensive line was going to do just enough to get the better of the Chiefs' offensive line. And ultimately, I actually think we saw what would have been Super Bowl 59 on Sunday, and it was in Kansas City.
Yeah. But here's the thing, and we'll get to this later when we talk about the Chargers, is because the Chiefs are 0-2 and the Chargers are now 2-0, people are saying, oh, the Chargers are going to take this division away from Kansas City. And I'm like, are we really I just talked about this. Are we really just going to dismiss Patrick Mahomes?
Well, now, wait a minute. You're the one on the show who did pick the Denver Broncos to win the division. So you did dismiss Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes, I did have Denver winning the division. You are correct. But I didn't have the Chiefs finishing in last.
No, but that's not what people are saying. People are saying the Chiefs are going to finish second or third and the Chargers are going to win the division. And you've been on me for a month that the Chiefs could lose this game to the Giants this coming Sunday night. If they do that and the Chargers do beat Denver, Chargers will be 3-0 in the division with a win head-to-head against Kansas City. The Chiefs will be 0-3 with a loss against the Chargers. The division, for all intents and purposes, for Kansas City would be over.
Yes. I don't know. I'm most likely going to watch Chiefs Giants, but I would do it with the radio broadcast because Collinsworth drives me crazy when it comes to Mahomes.
Well, here's a guy, and Patrick Mahomes, this guy. I mean,
he has an absolute love fest with Mahomes, and it's so annoying to listen to.
Well, and of course, I think one of the most important aspects that people are not talking about this game was, I think you know what I'm talking about here, the conversation between Chiefs defensive lineman Chris Jones and Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts on the final kneel down of the game. So Chris Jones allegedly says something along the lines of, you didn't even have 100 yards passing the game, which Jalen actually did. I believe he had 101 passing yards. And
I thought it was about rushing.
And no, it was about passing yards. He said, you didn't even have 100 yards. And Jalen said, we won the game, STFU, basically. Which, by the way, I love it for my quarterback. I've said it from day one. I don't care about the stats. I don't care about the fact that the backup quarterback for the Cleveland Browns has more passing touchdowns at this point in the season than the Philadelphia Eagles starting quarterback.
I don't want him to be the backup quarterback anymore. I'm tired of Joe Flacco.
We'll talk about it. But I don't care about that because the bottom line is my team wins games. And Jalen Hurts in his last 17 starts starting as the Eagles starting quarterback is 16-1. That's a full season. And maybe this Eagles team is like the Chiefs team last year, where it's like they play a bunch of close games. Their offense maybe isn't as good as it was a year ago, and they win. But I think people are forgetting, Josh, last year going into week 3, remember my team, without Devontae Smith or A.J. Brown, was down 3-0 in the fourth quarter against the 2-0 New Orleans Saints. So everybody remember, it is September football. I'm happy we got the win. I think the offense is going to get better. I think they showed better signs on Sunday. And the schedules are going. I mean, they really gave us Dallas, the Chiefs, the Rams, Tampa, and Denver out of the gate.
Yeah. By the way, I hate that the games against the Rams and Buccaneers are both at 1:00. What are we doing? I'd much rather watch that than instead of Browns Lions. I'd much rather watch Buccaneers Eagles. But because of the way the NFL scheduled things, I can't do that.
Go ahead. I'll let you go because for me, for Kansas City, it's about those receivers. I mean,
they
are handicapped without Xavier Worthy. Which I think is the bigger injury than the Rashid Rice suspension. Because I think if they had Worthy, they would be fine. Not having your two top receivers is a big deal, especially when, let's face it, Travis Kelce is now more known for being Taylor Swift's boyfriend than he is for being an elite football player.
Well, fiance, but I get what you're saying. Yeah, which I bet 9 times out of 10 he makes that play late in the game. But let me ask you a question. The guy who gets the interception, how did he get?
Yeah, he's a rookie safety out of Texas. Go on.
I'm not trying to say he did anything wrong. How did he get run down by a freaking lineman?
Because Josh Simmons is one of the fastest linemen. That's the guy the Chiefs drafted in the first round. He was sprinting flat out, and I don't think DK off the interception believed he had a real chance to score, so I don't think he was running at full speed. And then by the time he realized that Simmons was there to make a touchdown-saving tackle. And then the next drive, Jalen Hurts obviously throws a perfect ball to Devontae Smith, who makes the catch. The ensuing brotherly shove controversy occurs. The Eagles are up 10.
By the way, on that Devontae Smith catch that you're talking about, I think we're referring to the same play. I think that play should have gotten a flag, not on the Eagles or anything. But wasn't that the play where when Devontae got tackled, it was basically like a WWE style, like.
I didn't think that at all. I'll be honest with you. I thought it was a clean and legal tackle.
I think we're talking about the same play.
The one, it's on the drive to the interception. He throws it to Devontae down the right sideline. Devontae goes up and mauls the defender on a third down.
Yes, and the defender basically throws him down.
Devontae was already in the air at that point. He does come down, but the defender's already got him in the grass, so I was okay with the no call. The point I was going to make was, at this point with the Chiefs, and this is what I overlooked personally when it came to Kansas City this year, because I did suspect a bigger year out of Kelce. But with this Chiefs offense, if they're down by double digits currently, the way they are built, without Worthy and without Rice, again, Tyquan Thornton made one good play in the end zone that got him back in the ball game, but honestly, they don't have any explosion on offense.
No, they really don't. And I know over the last couple of years, the Chiefs have become more of a physical, defensive style team, but they've always had like that explosive offense where somebody
that's what I'm saying. Is that what the Eagles are turning into, which is a Saquon Barkley-centric defensive team? Jalen, don't make mistakes. And eventually, you know what's going to happen? Someone is going to focus on Saquon Barkley. And unlike Kansas City, they have Devontae Smith and they have A.J. Brown. I am not worried about the passing game.
I'm talking about the Chiefs side of the equation.
I know, but I'm telling you, is that what the Eagles have become? Is what the Chiefs were the last few years, which is run the ball, defense, Jalen, don't turn the ball over. The difference is the Eagles have the receivers, the Chiefs do not.
And the other problem I see with the Chiefs is, like, Mahomes is usually very reluctant to run the ball. They don't do, like, designed quarterback runs for Mahomes like they do with Lamar Jackson in Baltimore. They do it with Josh Allen in Buffalo. We've seen the Eagles do designed quarterback runs with Jalen Hurts. Not a lot, but we have seen it. With Kansas City, they don't really do that with Mahomes.
And they're doing it this year because they have to, because they can't run the ball.
I wouldn't say they're doing designed quarterback runs, but he's having to run more, which has basically become their running game, because at least from my perspective, Isaiah Pacheco was not the same running back he was the past couple of years.
No, he hasn't been the same since that leg injury. But speaking of running quarterbacks, the guy that can no longer run because he has turf toe, Joe Burrow and the
Cincinnati. He is becoming this generation's Andrew Luck. I posted this today, and that's the talk all over social media. They are 2-0, and yet they don't feel like a 2-0 team. He is becoming this generation's Andrew Luck. And I don't get it with the Bengals. They had Carson Palmer. He got traded, but was forced to retire because of the Bengals' lack of investment in the offensive line. Boomer Esiason leads them to a Super Bowl. Wins an MVP. Didn't have a great career with Cincinnati. Why? Because they refused to invest in that offensive line. Like, the Bengals could very well, with their schedule, still be in contention for playoffs with Jake Browning, but do you really want to bring Joe Burrow back? Like, you could have drafted Penei Sewell instead of Jamar Chase. I get it. Since Jamar Chase got to Cincinnati, him and Joe Burrow have become a deadly combination. But
the Bengals have also made the Super Bowl in that time. The Lions have not.
Yes, but I think Penei Sewell is on a path to Canton.
Well, I think Jamar Chase is also on a path to Canton.
Yes, but if it were me, as much as I love having Jamar Chase, I'd rather protect my quarterback.
So I think it's a little bit of a myth that the Bengals have not tried to protect Joe Burrow.
They haven't.
Well, here's the thing. It's not for a lack of investment in the offensive line, because look what they went out and did, Josh. They go out and they draft Amarius Mims. The first-round pick last year was an offensive tackle. They drafted Dylan Fairchild this year in the 4th round, a guard, offensive lineman. They signed Alex Kappa in free agency, offensive lineman. The center they brought over from Tampa just got hurt. The guy who was playing there when Brady was there, for some reason I can't recall his name right now, but he got hurt. He's out for the year. So to me, it's not that they have not invested in the offensive line. It is the way they're calling the game around Burrow. And credit to Mark Schlereth. He's now a credible radio host in Denver. He used to have a show on Fox Sports 1. He does the NFL games on Fox on Sundays. Schlereth said that basically it's not the offensive line. It is the fact that Burrow, and I agree with this, he is in shotgun 90 to 95% of the time. They don't go under center, and when they do go under center, it's almost 99% of the time a run play. It is a lot of stress on Burrow, and a lot of their routes, like they don't throw a ton of running back screens. They don't throw a lot of drag routes, get the ball out quick. It's all down the field, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and it is an explosive offense. And it has gotten the Bengals to 9-8, and Joe Burrow could have had an argument to win the MVP last year because of the numbers he put up. I think it's more about the way this offense is built, because it's built around Joe throwing the football down the field with good offensive line protection. It's not built around the way Philadelphia is. Run game, offensive line, you add the receivers. That is the offense Cincinnati needs to run.
Yeah, but they seem reluctant to do it. And I get it. They've tried to add pieces, but from my perspective, it feels like they're doing it because they hear the noise. It doesn't feel like they actually want to build their offensive line.
I think the difference between the Colts and the Bengals in terms of the way they built, the Colts never invested in their offensive line for Andrew Luck, and they let Andrew Luck get killed. I think Cincinnati wants to invest for Burrow. They just haven't hit on their picks. It's not for a lack of trying.
I think I see what you're saying, but for me, it's a little bit more they haven't tried. Like, I get it. They've made some picks. They've tried in free agency a little bit, but for me, they really haven't put in the effort. They haven't.
I just think it's unfair to say they've completely ignored the offensive line when they went out and they signed 2 big name free agents and they drafted a 1st round pick in an offensive lineman.
And that's a fair argument. I'm not dismissing what you're saying, but for me, it's
basically, you can make an argument they chose getting more offensive linemen over choosing defenders. They haven't brought in any defenders, and their defense, like I predicted this year, it actually is getting turnovers. Yes, Trevor Lawrence and Giants had a good game. The Giants probably should have won that game Sunday, but their defense, again, created 2 more interceptions. They're creating turnovers. So Cincinnati is 2-0. This is their hardest part of the schedule. Remember on our schedule predictions when we did the breakdown of the Bengals, I had them starting 2-0, falling to 2-4, and finishing 11-6. So I know they like Jake Browning. He played well 2 years ago when Burrow had the arm injury. Played pretty decent on Sunday outside of the interceptions. I'm interested to see. There's rumors out there that they're trying to maybe make a deal with the Giants for Jameis Winston. I was surprised that Kirk Cousins' name hasn't been brought up, but I guess that's a money situation.
I would suppose so. They signed Sean Clifford and Mike White to their practice squad.
The former Penn State quarterback, your guy, Sean Clifford.
Yes.
I didn't even know he was still in the league. Do you know what team he was on?
Packers.
Okay, so he was on their practice squad, right? Because that's right. They did draft him, I believe.
I think so.
So, okay. So they're moving forward with Jake Browning. And all of a sudden now, this is why Josh NFL predictions mean nothing. Who would have thought going into week 3 of the 2025 NFL season, Vikings Bengals would be Carson Wentz against Jake Browning?
I know.